Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we will talk about the management of congenital hearing impaired child. This is part 3 of this series. In previous two parts, we have discussed the etiopathogenesis, milestones of development for hearing and speech, and different tools to diagnose a congenital hearing impaired child as early as possible. Links for those two sessions are there in the description, so you are requested to check it out there. So if someone is diagnosed as a hearing impaired child, how we can help such children. So this is what we will talk about today. And before proceeding discussion about the hearing aids, you are requested to like, share and subscribe the channel. There are 28 million people who are having some kind of hearing impairment. They are hard of hearing in United States of America, and hearing loss is the third disability following arthritis and hypertension there. More than 1 million hearing aids are being sold every year there in United States of America. So quite a remarkable number this is. One should keep in mind that hearing aids, they will not restore the normal hearing, because we know that ear, external ear, middle ear and then inner ear, its anatomical and physiological structures. One, it is very complex and difficult to imitate, but hearing aids, they will increase the awareness to the sounds and their source, and it may take a few weeks to adjust and benefit from the introduction of this sound. By definition, any device that amplifies the sound or assists the hearing impaired individual, that is a hearing aid. But in present context, what do we mean by hearing aid is basically the electroacoustic devices. Otherwise, you would have observed elderly people cupping their ear when they could not hear properly. And this is also a kind of hearing aid, because in the frequency of 1000 hertz, by cupping the hand like this, the intensity of the sound is increased up to 10 decibel. In ancient times, seashells and sea horns were also used as a tools for hearing. So those are also kind of hearing aids, especially sea horns. They were easily sculptured by heating and molded accordingly. Then ear scoops were also used as a hearing aids. They give us better directionality regarding the source of sound, from where it is coming, with less ambient noise. Then ear trumpets were also used, and later on a desk was prepared, special desk for such hearing impaired children, where there was amplifier along with the microphone and earphones. But of course it was helpful, but it was not portable, so it was fixed in some rooms or auditoriums where their utility was. Then hearing aid, that is the electroacoustic device we are referring to. The first one which was being used was a body worn hearing aid, and this body worn hearing aid was consisting of a rectangular box in which there was a power source in a form of a battery. Then there were buttons, those were having a microphone and volume control, and through a tube there was a receiver which was being put in the external auditory canal in the ear. And there was this was body worn aids. They were of larger size, so easy to handle, especially for the older people, but the sound input was distorted, and even the friction of their own clothes, because they were being hanged around the neck or put into their pocket or attached with their belts, the friction of the sound was even very irritable for them. So hearing aids, they will not completely restore or fix the hearing loss, because the damage is already being done, and we could not reverse back that damage, especially in hearing sensory neural hearing loss. But in case of those where there is conductive type of a hearing loss or mixed type of hearing loss, the conductive type of hearing loss part can be corrected surgically. And hearing aids, they aid to make the sound accessible. If there is a delay in the diagnosis and rehabilitation of hearing impaired children, there are two main problems which hearing aids could not help it out. One is that when auditory cortex does not get the sensory input, which is of course for auditory cortex is the hearing or the sound. So due to deprivation of this sensory input, this auditory cortex will lose these cells which cannot be regenerated, of course. And in sensory neural hearing loss, we know that there is the damage to the hair cells in the cochlea. So when there is sensory neural hearing loss, there is speech discrimination which cannot be corrected by the hearing aids. There are several types of hearing aids. Each type has different advantages and disadvantages depending upon its design, level of amplification, and its size. But basic components of all these contemporary hearing aids is the same. That is, one is the microphone which will receive the sound. Then there is a processor which will amplify this sound, and then there will be the receiver which is being put into the ear, which is used to stimulate whatever the cochlear reserve is there. And for all these we need a power supply which is usually in the form of some battery. So Body One, as I told you, this was the first wearable electronic hearing aid, and it was used for profound hearing loss patients. And there was a volume control here. This was the microphone which will receive the sound, and then this is the function switch on and off, and through a wire there is a receiver which is being inserted into the ear. And this rectangular box can be attached. Then nowadays, the most commonly used is behind the ear hearing aids. Then there are in the ear hearing aids, or in the canal hearing aids are also available. Behind the ear, they are also called as post-oral aids. They are worn behind the ear and they are connected to a plastic ear mold that fits inside the outer ear. The components are held in a case behind the ear. They can be used by people of all ages for mild to profound hearing loss, but poorly fitting behind the ear molds may cause feedback or whistling sound caused by the fit of the hearing aid or by buildup of ear wax or fluid. They can handle all types of hearing losses. They are suitable for all ages. They can provide the most amplification, and they use larger batteries, so which are easier to handle than the batteries for small hearing aids. But an improper fitting or damaged ear mold may cause feedback. They need to be made periodically for the proper acoustic seal. And behind the ear, these instruments, they are larger than other hearing aids and can be more noticeable. So this is the behind the ear hearing aid. All these controls are here. This is the case which is worn behind the ear. Then through the tube there is a mold which is inserted in the opening of external auditory canal. So that main case is here behind the ear, and then this is a small tube, plastic tube, and this is the mold, and the sound is being perceived by the ear and then it is conveyed to the ear. And this behind the ear mold, this is available in different colors to match the coloring shade of the hair, so to make them less visible to the people. So this was most commonly dispensed from 1960s to 1980s. Since 1980s, the in the ear type, which are even smaller than this, they have captured the largest part of the hearing aid market. So in the ear, they are again of three types. One is all in the ear, then canal aids, and then is the completely in the canal aids. In the ear, they fit completely in the outer ear or in the concha, from used for mild to severe hearing loss. Telecoil can also be used along with that. They fills the entire ear. For wide range of hearing losses, they can be used. Sound amplifier. It is easy to handle and adjust. but they can be damaged by ear wax or ear discharge, and their small size can cause adjustment problems and feedback. Usually they are not worn by the children because the casing needs to be replaced as the ear grows. So this is the shape of this in the ear. Same volume control, this is vent, this is the battery there, this is the microphone, and this is the receiver. So basic components remains the same, only the shape changes. So this is in the ear, and here if you can appreciate, it is here in the concha or bowl of the pinna, it is inserted. From there the sound is being received. So this is in the ear hearing aid. Disadvantages are they are rarely prescribed for children. They are because of their continuously growing ear canals. Feedback can be there. Small size of the battery, door, and volume control difficult to adjust. They can be more easily seen by the observer still, and can be damaged by earwax and ear discharge. Then canal in the canal aids, that is customized to fit the size and shape of the external auditory canal, and it is used for mild to moderately severe hearing loss. And then there is completely in the canal CIC hearing aid, which is largely concealed in the external auditory canal, and it is used for mild to moderately severe hearing loss. But because of their small size, canal aids may be difficult for the user to adjust and remove, and may not be able to hold additional devices such as a telecoil. Canal aids can also be damaged by earwax and ear discharge, and they are not typically recommended for children. Cosmetically, they are of course more appealing due to small size, and they offer natural sound reception due to the placement of the microphone in the ear canal, but they are suitable only for mild to moderately severe hearing loss. They are rarely prescribed for children due to constant growth of a child's ear. Then they have got a small battery, so it is difficult to manipulate, and volume control is also used, so that is difficult to adjust. These instruments are susceptible to damage from earwax. Completely in the canal, they are the smallest size available, nearly invisible, so they are cosmetically more appealing. They provide a close placement of the receiver to the eardrum, which gives sound a natural boost in the loudness, and microphone sits in your ear canal, simulating the natural sound reception. So this is completely in the canal. Disadvantages are they are more expensive, of course. They are not suitable for those who are having severe to profound hearing loss, and size is rarely recommended for children because they are custom fit and a child's ear is continuously growing. They require a very small battery which can be difficult to replace due to closeness of the microphone and receiver. Hearing aid, there is a greater chance of feedback. It is more susceptible to damage from earwax, and they have a higher repair rate. So this is behind the ear, this is in the ear, this is in the canal, and this is completely in the canal hearing aids. So from larger size to smaller size they come. Exam days. Then bone anchored hearing aids, they are auditory prosthetic which can be surgically implanted. Post auricular incision is given, and in mastoid area a small cavity is made, and there this is being placed surgically, and it uses the skull as a pathway for the sound to travel to the inner ear, so it bypasses the external auditory canal and middle ear. So where these external auditory canal or middle ear, they are having the problem, or surgically they could not be corrected, there we can use this bone anchored hearing aids. Then spectacle aids are also available. Those people who are using for their refractory problem eyeglasses they are using. So in the frame we can use these hearing aids. They have got a mold that will fit into the ear in the normal way, or with a vibrator that will rest on the bone behind the ear. These spectacle aids are expensive because both optician and hearing aid dispenser are involved in that. So this is microphone from which is receiving the sound, and then it is being transmitted to this vibrator. So they are suitable for people who wear glasses, but it is not usually possible to have spectacle aids on trial. If your aid has to be repaired, you will lose the use of your spectacles also. And these spectacles with hearing aids, they fitted for both ears. This will increase the cost significantly. But cross is can be used, that is the sound from the bad or worse side to a better ear. So that's what it is called. If one ear is not functioning at all, the sound can be gathered from that side and it can be conveyed to the other side by a wireless. Now is the era of technology. Information technology has improved a lot. Same is the case here. So we have got what we call as digital hearing aids, and they work differently from analogs in the way that they convert and process the sound, as they are the result of the computer revolution. So more technically sophisticated. No, they depend upon their size, their technology. Different types of circuitry or electronics are there. So hearing aids, they work differently. Mainly used were analog or conventional before, then analog programmable, and nowadays digital programmable. Analog, that this was conventionally it was being used, though some flexibility was there to make minor adjustments, but they were, producing these all the sounds they were amplifying. Then came the analog programmable, that with their some program or two three different programs they were devised for the particular use of that patient, and he would have a remote control. Through that he can switch over to these different programs. So these were programmable hearing aids. I will not go into that much detail of all these. Nowadays, the digital hearing aids are there. These are programmable and can be precisely programmed to match the patient's individual hearing loss. So you can say this is a type of custom-made hearing aids now, according to the need of that particular person who has to use these for each specific frequency and its pitch intensity. They can examine the sound environment and adopt the amplification accordingly without any distortion or ambient noise. So they are programmable. Again, they are same microphone, receiver, battery, and computer chip is there. So digital circuitry provides them the most flexibility for the audiologist to make adjustments, and it can be used in all types of hearing aids. But typically, they are the most expensive. Improved clarity of the sound is there, less circuit noise, faster processing of the sound, improved listening in the noise when compared to analog circuits, easy to use because they adjust the volume automatically. So unnecessary sound is not there. So conventional hearing aids, they were increasing the volume of all incoming sounds. So sometimes making loud sounds too loud and soft sounds making too soft, and many times there was distortion and ambient noise. To some extent, comparing a digital hearing aid to a conventional hearing aid is like comparing a compact disc to a record player. So what can I expect from my hearing aids? It takes time and patience to adjust the use of hearing aids. Hearing aids will not restore normal hearing or eliminate background noise. Adjusting to a hearing aid is a gradual process, and try to become familiar with hearing aids under non-stressful circumstances. Then is the cochlear implant. Before the hearing aids, analog hearing aids, they were not suitable for profound hearing loss, but digital hearing aids, they can help out even up to 100 decibel loss. But if the loss is more than that, that is more than 100 decibel loss, then we have to think about the cochlear implant. Again, keep in mind that cochlear implant, it is not a bionic ear. Because the people think that the moment their implantation will be there, next morning our kid will be speaking fluently. No, This is also a kind of hearing aid, and same handicaps or problems are there, that they will not fix the hearing loss and they will not produce a normal hearing, and rehabilitation process will take longer time even after cochlear implantation. But they restore the hearing function for profoundly hearing impaired by direct electrical stimulation of the auditory nerve in the cochlea, and it is one of the most important advances in medical science to date. It is used in profound hearing. It should be there in hearing congenital hearing impaired children before the age of 4 years, because after the age of 4 years the cortical language centers, they receive no stimulation, so their is ability to organize and function is lost due to the loss of the cells of the auditory cortex I mentioned in the beginning of the discussion. Optimal age in UK, they say it is around 1 year, and in Canada it is done in children of 6 months. So this is external part of this cochlear implant, that this is how this battery source is there. Behind the ear it is, through this wire it is connected, and this is the external antenna or external stimulator which is attached with the skull. And inner part is, this is the inner part, which is again by post auricular incision in the mastoid cavity. This mastoid region, a small cavity is being made, and there this internal magnet with antenna and receiver stimulator is being placed, and this is the external transmitter antenna. So external and internal, they are connected wirelessly. There is no direct contact, but through the bone they are connected with that one. And from this internal magnet and receiver, it is through the electrode in the inner ear and along the turns of the cochlea it is being placed, and the sound is being transmitted, and the cochlear nerve, whatever the reserve is there, that is directly being stimulated by this electrode. So this is the basic mechanism of function of cochlear implant. This is again diagrammatic representation, that this is the sound processor with battery source there behind the ear. Then this is the external antenna, this is the internal implant or internal antenna, and through the electrode going through the middle ear into the inner ear, and there it is, this electrode is being placed in the cochlear turns and directly stimulating the auditory nerve. And from here the vestibulocochlear nerve is taking the sensory input to the auditory cortex. Then to make hearing aids, this is a behind the hearing aids to make it more acceptable for children and their class fellows or classmates. They should not bully these children. They have made it in a cartoon fashion, so this is more acceptable for the kids, so they wear it happily, because the use of hearing aid, it has got a psychological effect also. So thank you very much. With that we come to end of this discussion. So please like and subscribe the channel and share it with your friends. Thank you very much.